Good afternoon, Standard 9 students. Now we were at that part where Munni had a conversation with the American tourist, and the American tourist did not understand anything. But Munni had a fear that this American tourist was a policeman and he is searching for the culprit because there was a murder that had taken place 2 weeks back, and he assumed, since the American tourist had worn khaki clothes and he being an old man unable to run, and then the tourist offers him a cigarette and all that, and at the end he gives him his visiting card. Now that is how you must see the humor in it. The funny part of it is, both these people are talking to each other and they do not understand each other. And how, when he gives him his visiting card, Munni feels that it is not a visiting card, it is an arrest warrant. So when he looks at that card, he go from there, Munni shrank away from the card. He got frightened when he looked at that card. Perhaps he was trying to present a warrant and arrest him. So finally he may have felt that now the policeman was good, kind enough to offer him a cigarette, and now he is in business. Means come to arrest him. Beware of khaki means beware of the people who wear khaki clothes, because they represent a policeman or a soldier. One part of his mind want take all the cigarettes or whatever he offered, but don't get caught. Because of khaki. He wished he weren't 70, as the shopman had said. At 70, one didn't run, but surrendered to whatever came. Means now you cannot run away from a cop. Okay, especially when you are 70 plus. So the best thing is, take whatever he offers or you surrender yourself. So the law always says, if you surrender yourself, then your punishment is lessened. Okay, so, and he remembers what the shopman had told him. So he went on, all in the Tamil for which Kritam was famous. He said, before God, Sir Bhagavan, who sees everything, I tell you, sir, that we know nothing of the case. If the murder was committed, whoever did it will not escape. Bhagavan is all seeing. Don't ask me about it. I know nothing. A body had been found mutilated and thrown under a tamarind tree at the border between Kritam and Kuppam a few weeks before, giving rise to much gossip and speculation. Now that was the headlines in these two villages. Now Munni was explaining that don't arrest me. I am not involved in that murder case. Okay, it says the man was murdered and his body was chopped or cut into pieces and it was thrown next to a tamarind tree. And in the place between Kritam and Kuppam, and he is explaining that people in that village are most likely to have committed this crime. He says, but don't you worry. God is seeing everything. He knows who is the culprit. So now he is explaining about who could be the possible murderer. Okay. And then he says, we will track out. So we will help you in this case. If we find any suspicious character moving around, then we will catch him and bury him up to his neck in front of the coconut pit. Pit means a ground that is dug, a hole. Okay. People over there means talking about the people of Kuppam. They will stop at nothing. The foreigner nodded his head and listened courteously, though he understood nothing. So while Munni was explaining about the murder and who could be the possible murderer and from which village, the foreigner was only nodding his head, but actually he didn't understand a single word Munni had spoken to him. I am sure you know when the horse was made, said the red man and smiled ingratiatingly. Now what happened? Then he asked him, I'm sure you must be knowing when this horse, the statue, was made. And he smiled because he appreciated the way he was taken up with this statue. Munni reacted to the relaxed atmosphere by smiling himself and pleading. Now Munni knew that maybe this man has not come to arrest me. So he felt quite relaxed and comfortable. He says, please go away, sir. I know nothing. I promise we will hold him for you. And if we see any bad character around, and we will bury him up to his neck in a coconut pit, in a coconut hole, if he tries to escape. But our village has always had a clean record. Must definitely be the other village. That means the culprit is not from our village. So he assures the policeman that all these wrongdoings are done by the people belonging to Kuppam, to the other village. So our village is not, they do not involve themselves in all this kind of crime. Okay. Now the red man implored. Implored means he requested, because the white man has understood. When I am talking to this man, he doesn't understand, he only nods his head. And when he is speaking to me, I also don't understand a single word. So now he is requesting him, begging him, please, please, I will speak slowly. Please try to understand me. So now he is explaining to Munni. He says, please, I will speak slowly in English, but please try to understand what I am saying. Can't you understand even a simple word of English? Everyone in this country seems to know English. I have gotten along with English everywhere in this country, but you don't speak it. Have you any religious or spiritual scruples against English speech? So now he says, look, I will speak very slowly, but please try to understand me. Saying it is very strange. In this country, everyone speaks English. Now in the other states, in South India, people don't speak in Hindi. They speak their local language and a little bit of English. So it has helped him wherever he had gone. But with Munni, he finds it very difficult. And he's pleading him, requesting him. At least try to understand. I will speak very slowly, but try to understand what I am talking. So now you let me know if there is any religious person or any kind of person who could understand English well. And it seems that you are the only one who has not taken any liking towards this particular language, the English language. Munni made some indistinct sounds in his throat and shook his head. Now, when he was talking to Munni didn't understand what he was saying, what request he is making. Encouraged, the other went on to explain at length, uttering each syllable with care and deliberation. Now, the American tourist also understood that maybe I am talking a bit too fast, so I will speak slowly and I will pronounce each syllable so that you will understand what I am saying. Now, the American tourist wanted to explain to Munni from where he is and how did he make up his mind to come to India. So he explains when he was working for Short Sleeves and he was working in the 40th story, 40 stories, 40 floors, on the 40th floor. Okay, and that particular day what happened? The power cut. There was a major power cut and they had no power the whole day. And for 4 hours he was stranded. He was caught in this. He said there was no elevator, the air condition also did not work and he suffered a lot. So when he returned home at Shorticut, he explained, he had a lot of problems. So he explained his problems to his wife Ruth. He said he needs a break and he wishes to visit India. So, and his wife spontaneously, she agreed to his decision. She made all the arrangements. She called for the booking agency and did whatever she could. And he said, and now here I am in India. So we have settled down or we have got on at Srinagar. My wife is there. I will join her later on. In the meanwhile, I am exploring the other part of the country and then join her later on. Now this is the explanation he had given as to why he had come down to India. That 4 hours tragedy or problem that he had faced. So he needed a break. So that is how he explained to Munni how and on what grounds he had come to this country. Munni looked reflective at the end of this long oration and said rather feebly means very weakly, yes, no. As a concession to the other's language and went on in Tamil. When I was this high, he indicated a foot higher, I heard my uncle say. Now he was trying to tell him when he was a little child. Okay, and what his uncle had said. No one can tell what he was planning to say. As the other interrupted him at this stage to ask, boy, what is the secret of your teeth and how old are you? Now Munni was actually trying to explain to the policeman that I am not the culprit. The culprit is somebody else. Okay. In the meantime, the American asked him, you have wonderful teeth. Just to have, to make the conversation sound very pleasant. And he asked, how old are you? Make him feel like as if he was very young. But it was stuck in Munni's head that he has come to arrest me. So he is making himself very clear. So now if you want to catch the real culprit, then you will have to go to the temple. The priest, he will perform some mantras and through the flame, he will be able to see the thief or the culprit. So now if you want to catch or arrest the main culprit, then you must go and meet the priest. Okay. and he will explain. He will throw camphor and through the smoke, the jadoo tona stuff, and he will be able to see who the culprit is. But while he was talking, he was making some gestures. Like you go to our temple priest, he will do some jadoo mantra, and then, when the culprit is caught, then they will, chop him up into pieces. Now remember, now the American soldier or the American tourist, he is watching the way Munni was explaining something. He does not know what Munni is explaining, but he is looking at his gestures, his action. Now this action shows like how a butcher cuts meat. Okay. Now the same action also means like somebody chopping wood. That is how the American tourist understood that this man is talking about that maybe he wants to go to the forest and chop wood. Okay, I'll keep it till here. The portion is till here. Okay. And I'll be sending question and answers based on this particular topic. So please write and learn and prepare for your exams. In the revision period, I will explain to you the model question paper, how the Viva exam is going to be conducted. Okay? And I'll inform the office about that the syllabus, we will have a house and 2 boards, but up to where I have taught. I think that should be okay with you people. Okay? All right.